What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and in this video I'm going to be going over the recently added Nissan GT-R Nismo, which I've honestly been waiting for a newer version of this car to come into the game. We all know we have the older one over here, but I really have not seen a lot of players use this vehicle, and if I had to take a guess, I'm sure many people have probably been waiting for the new one to come out, and luckily we do have our hands on the new Nismo now. I was wondering for quite a while where the newer Nismo was on the Crew 2, because I was like, well, the 2015 really isn't all that bad, but I'm sure players are looking for a newer vehicle to be added into the game. Like, for example, can we please get a newer Hyundai Veloster? And would that be kind of cool? Let me know in the comments below, even though Hyundai's really not in this game at all. But nonetheless, I would say the new Nismo is going to be a fan favorite. And not only that, guys, from the testing I've done with this vehicle, with the 18 miles I have on it currently, I am pretty impressed with this vehicle's performance. I mean, it handles really good. The build I have on the vehicle seems to treat it very well. And this car has a pretty dang high top speed when I was testing it out. So I would say the Nismo most likely will probably be in the top 5 in the street category. I will most likely be using this vehicle a bit in the future because I do currently run the Q60 a lot, but I'm going to most likely move over to the Nismo and try this car out next. Now, moving over to the customization on the Nismo here. Now, unfortunately, there's no visual upgrades on this because, well, this thing is a Nismo, but luckily you can change the colors of the car. So here's the regular one after that. Then there's the silver. Then we're going to have the red, which I think looks amazing on this thing. And then finally the black color there. Now, you can also do all the regular colors in the game if you guys wanted something different. But for me, I'm going to go with the official red color on this car here because that looks insane. It matches the interior color as well. I really do love the look of the newer Nismo, and seeing a few of these in real life, I think this car is absolutely beautiful. Plus, it has a very awesome engine sound as well, which I'll get into that and show that in a little while here. But besides that, you guys can also do the livery as well, which I would say many players might end up doing that. Kind of make like a custom color on this thing or something like that. But for me, I'm going to end up leaving that off because you could probably change like the hood and make that black like that one person did in the top 100. So that's one good thing about that. Now, unfortunately, one thing I do want to show is the vanity items are going to be like the one that's in the touring vehicle class as well. Now, you really can't do much of anything besides underglow and horns because I think that has to do with something with the licensing of Nissan. Not really too sure on that, but luckily this car does look insanely good without anything on it. But anyway, guys, let's go do an outside look of the Nissan here. Then I do want to take this thing on a top speed run. Then we definitely have to jump into a race to really test out this vehicle's performance and see how it might compare to some of the better street cars. So now taking an outside look at the Nismo here, now I'm not going to lie, I don't have anything against the older body style of the GT-R, but I just think the newer ones look so dang good. I really do love how this car looks with the carbon fiber going around, the red line going around because it is a Nismo. We have the nice blue titanium exhaust back there and or aluminum. Then we're going to have that really nice carbon fiber wing on the back of the car there. I just love the newer one. This car really does look absolutely amazing. I also really love the carbon fiber going around the entire car, and the fact that you can see that clear as day is just super awesome to see. I would also say a lot of players are really happy to see this vehicle in the game because I know they have been requesting this thing to be in the street category for quite a while. But why don't we take a listen to this engine? And now moving over to the interior view of the Nismo here, I think Ubisoft did a really good job with this car with its detail. We have the dash there, which looks really good. We have the RPM reader. We have the miles per hour, which will obviously go up when you do accelerate just a little bit. And we have a full tank of gas, which is always nice to see. Plus, you can actually see all the buttons in this as well, which is pretty impressive. Sometimes the interiors really do not look all that great. And I have to admit, I do think the GT-R does look pretty dang awesome. You can even see the carbon fiber. I love the red stitching going around the car, plus the red in the seats there. You can also see the carbon fiber on the back of the seat of the car pretty dang clear as well, which is honestly pretty awesome. Plus, we do have the back row seats as well. You can view that. I would say Ubisoft did a really good job on the detail of the interior of the Nismo. But besides that, guys, let's go see what the top speed of the GT-R actually is. Now, I have a feeling this car is going to be really good because I was testing it out earlier for a little bit, and I was generally impressed with how this car was driving. Even with its speed, it does accelerate very nicely, plus it's going to have a good transmission, so it's not going to be hard to drive if you guys are running manual. Now, let's see what this car can get to. Now, I will also be running the Nitro Chemist set if you guys might have been wondering, but let's see what the top speed of the GT-R actually is right now. So let's hit that. Above 240, so it's already faster than the S1, which honestly, that car was really bad for the most part, especially compared to this thing. Wow, look at that, 249, wow. 251, I'll try to accelerate a little bit and then hit that again. 253, 254, So this car is going to be right up there with like the Superleggera and the GT. So we might have one of the best new street cars on our hands right now, guys, with the Nismo. 254 is going to be pretty dang impressive compared to a lot of the other vehicles. Normally, a lot of the newer street cars have been capping at like 240 or so, and this car does 254 miles an hour. And the handling and stability going around these turns, this car is definitely going to be something to mess with. But let's jump into a race right now and really test out its overall performance in there. So for the GT-R, I wanted to mix this up a little bit by jumping into the Mississippi Special, which is one of the longer events here on the game, but it's also going to be one of the fun ones to really test out the vehicle's overall performance. Now, one thing I have really been noticing about the GT-R is, my goodness, can this car turn really well and not have issues like some of the other ones have. I have noticed, like, for example, the S1 in the recent video, that car obviously is not going to be that great, but the GT-R literally would destroy that thing without really trying to. And the craziest part, 254 miles an hour for a top speed is going to make this thing go like 17 miles an hour or more faster than one of my favorite street vehicles right now, which is the Q60, and that car turns very similar to this thing. So I have a feeling the GT-R is going to probably be one of the best new street cars in the game, and I do highly recommend trying this thing out. Even somebody who normally runs in manual, I'm pretty dang impressed with how this car does shift as well. I haven't had any issues getting in the right gear or anything like that. I can rocket out of turns with it and or fly off the road like I currently am right now. And the car really doesn't have any issues whatsoever. So I would say the GT-R is definitely going to be something to look at if you guys might have been wondering. Or maybe you just might want something new to drive in the crew because sometimes the meta vehicles might be kind of annoying to drive. Or you just really don't feel like buying one of those just to compete in races. Now, this is what really makes me happy about seeing cars like this added, because we finally have something different in the game we can all try out and use. And even though this car might have some flaws to it like a lot of the vehicles do, I do think these newer vehicles are going to be really fun to mess with in summits, and I will definitely be planning on trying to use this thing more often and not actually using the Q60 and really never touching the Superleggera or the Porsche GT ever again. I'm sure many players are probably going to be wondering as well, is the top speed really going to be affecting some of these cars, as I did mention before? And to be honest, I have noticed on the longer races, having a lower top speed on like the Q60, for example, does seem to affect that vehicle in a very odd way. But having something like that doing like 235 miles an hour on like a longer track like this, for example, then you have a car that could do 250. If that car can handle just a little bit better and, you know, be a little bit better in all the other aspects as well, like its stability, you're most likely going to get destroyed by that thing, which is kind of unfortunate because, you know, some cars will be better than others. I do think the GT-R is going to be in that category as well. So if you guys are looking for something new to drive that can actually go fast and perform really well, this is probably going to be the best car you could choose at the moment besides picking one of the quote-unquote meta vehicles. But I just want to try out other vehicles and see if we have other cars in these categories that can still compete, because I don't know, having like one or two cars in the category and everything else just gets destroyed is kind of unfortunate. So having something like the new GT-R here is going to be really awesome to see. Let me know what you guys think about the GT-R in the comments below. I did show my settings for the vehicle earlier, but I will also show them again right now just in case you wanted to see them again.